Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive edition of entertainment news where the lines between Hollywood glamour and morning show politeness have been obliterated in a single, unforgettable segment on Good Morning America. Picture this, it's a crisp July morning in 2025, the kind where the sun filters through the towering glass facades of New York City, casting a golden hue over the bustling streets below the ABC studios. Inside the brightly lit studio, the air is thick with the scent of fresh coffee and the faint hum of high-definition cameras warming up for another day of cheerful banter, weather updates, and celebrity spotlights. George Stephanopoulos, the silver-haired anchor with a reputation for sharp intellect honed from his days in the Clinton White House, sits poised at the curved desk, his navy blue suit impeccably tailored, a subtle red tie adding a pop of authority to his ensemble. Beside him, the co-hosts are Robin Roberts with her warm, resilient smile that has weathered storms both personal and professional, and Michael Strahan, the former NFL star turned broadcaster whose booming laugh can disarm even the most tense moments. I exchange light-hearted jabs about the weekend's football highlights. The stage is set for what should be a routine promotional interview, a fluff piece designed to boost ratings with star power. Enter Brad Pitt, the 61-year-old icon whose chiseled jawline and piercing blue eyes still command screens worldwide, striding into the studio with the effortless charisma that has defined his career from the sultry beaches of Troy to the gritty underbelly of Fight Club. He's here to plug his latest directorial venture, a poignant drama titled Shadows of Legacy, a film that delves into the fractured bonds of family amid the relentless march of time, drawing thinly veiled parallels to his own highly publicized divorce from Angelina Jolie and the ensuing custody battles that have tabloid headlines for years. Dressed in a casual yet meticulously curated outfit, a crisp white button-down shirt rolled at the sleeves to reveal forearms etched with the subtle signs of a life well lived, paired with slim-fit jeans and leather loafers that whisper of old Hollywood sophistication, Brad settles into the guest chair with a nod and a grin, the kind that makes producers sigh in relief and audiences lean closer to their screens. The cameras roll, the theme music fades, and George leans in with his trademark blend of folksy charm and journalistic precision, opening with a softball. "Brad, it's always a pleasure to have you." Shadows of Legacy looks like it could be your most personal project yet. To tell us, what inspired you to step behind the camera again after Wolf's? Brad chuckles, his voice a low, resonant drawl laced with that unmistakable southern twang, launching into a thoughtful monologue about the catharsis of storytelling, how directing allows him to wrestle with the ghosts of his past without the armor of a character. The audience at home sips their morning joe, nodding along as clips from the trailer flicker on screen, sweeping cinematography of crumbling estates under stormy skies. Emotional confrontations that mirror the raw vulnerability Brad has hinted at in rare interviews since his separation. Robin chimes in with a question about the ensemble cast, praising the nuanced performance of newcomer Elaine of Esquez, while Michael steers the conversation toward Brad's well-known architectural passions, joking about whether the film sets were built to LEED standards. It's all going swimmingly, the kind of segment that wraps in 8 minutes flat, leaving time for a weather tease and a commercial break. But then, as Brad wraps up a poignant anecdote about reconciliation drawing from his own experiences with his 6 children, whom he rarely discusses publicly, George's expression shifts, the anchor's eyes narrow ever so slightly, his fingers drumming a subtle rhythm on the desk, a telltale sign for those who know him that the gloves are about to come off. "Brad," he says, his tone dipping into that measured cadence reserved for political grillings, "your film touches on legacy and forgiveness, but let's be honest, your real-life legacy has been overshadowed by years of headlines about family turmoil, with the Jolie custody case dragging on, and recent reports of you selling your French winery amid financial strains. Do you worry that Shadows will be seen as just another chapter in the Pitt-Jolie saga rather than a standalone triumph?" The studio falls into a hushed expectancy, the co-hosts exchanging fleeting glances as Robin's eyebrows arch in mild surprise, Michael's easy smile faltering for a split second. Brad pauses, his easygoing demeanor cracking like fine porcelain under pressure. He sets down his water glass with deliberate care, the clink echoing unnaturally loud in the controlled environment. This isn't the promo he'd prepped for. This is a pivot into the minefield of personal scrutiny, the kind of question that smells of ambush journalism dressed as insightful discourse. The audience at home leans forward, sensing the shift from light fluff to potential fireworks, while backstage, producers whisper urgently into headsets, weighing whether to cut to commercial. But the red light stays on, and Brad's response hangs in the balance, the first spark of what will ignite into the most talked-about walkout in daytime TV history. As the seconds tick by, we can almost hear the collective breath of a nation waiting for the man who's played brooding anti-heroes and charming rogues to decide how to play this unscripted role. George, ever the pro, maintains his composed facade, but there's a glint in his eye, a challenge issued, gloves fully discarded now. Brad's jaw tightens, his fingers interlacing as if to steady himself, and when he speaks, his voice carries the weight of 1,000 unspoken frustrations, setting the stage for the verbal joust that will leave jaws on floors from coast to coast. This moment, frozen in time, becomes the pivot point where celebrity invincibility meets the unrelenting gaze of the Fourth Estate, and what unfolds next is nothing short of televisual chaos. A clash of titans that redefines the boundaries of the morning show interview. To understand the depth of this eruption, we must rewind just a touch further, delving into the undercurrents that made this confrontation inevitable, the simmering resentments and cultural fault lines that Brad and George, two men from vastly different worlds, were bound to collide upon. Brad Pitt, born William Bradley Pitt in the heartland of Shawnee, Oklahoma, on December 18, 1963, rose from small-town obscurity to stratospheric fame through sheer force of talent and that indefinable magnetism that cameras adore. His early roles in films like Thelma Louise catapulted him into the spotlight, but it was the 90s trifecta Interview with the Vampire, Say 7N, and 12 Monkeys that cemented his status as a leading man capable of both heartthrob allure and profound intensity. Off-screen, his life became a tabloid feast. High-profile romances with Gwyneth Paltrow and Jennifer Aniston, the latter ending in a divorce that felt like the end of an era, only to be eclipsed by his whirlwind pairing with Angelina Jolie on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Brangelina, as they were dubbed, embodied the fairy tale romance Hollywood crave as a 6 children adopted and biological, humanitarian missions to war-torn regions. A sprawling estate in the south of France where they filmed by the sea amid whispers of method-acting marital bliss. But cracks appeared, allegations of substance abuse, heated arguments over child-rearing philosophies, and an infamous 2016 plane incident that allegedly involved Brad and one of their sons, Maddox, prompting Angelina to file for divorce and seek sole custody. The legal saga that followed was a protracted war, with court documents leaked like confetti, painting Brad as distant and erratic, Angelina as fiercely protective yet vindictive. Millions were spent on lawyers, therapists, and PR firms. Brad's once pristine image tarnished by claims of absentee fatherhood, while his production company, Plan B, soldiered on with Oscar-winning ventures like 12 Years a Slave. By 2025, the dust had somewhat settled, joint custody granted, but tensions lingered, with Angelina's recent memoir excerpts hinting at unresolved pain. Enter George Stephanopoulos, the Fall River, Massachusetts native whose path to GMA was paved with political savvy rather than silver screen charisma. Born to Greek Orthodox parents in 1961, George's trajectory was one of Ivy League Polish, a degree from Columbia, a Rhodes Scholar stint at Oxford, and a meteoric rise in Democratic circles. As communications director for Bill Clinton's 1992 campaign, he navigated scandals with the finesse of a chess grandmaster, earning the nickname Little George for his boyish looks and big-brain strategies. Post-White House, he transitioned to ABC News, co-anchoring GMA since 2009 alongside a rotating cast of luminaries, his role evolving into that of the steady-handed delivering hard news with empathy, celebrity chats with a veneer of depth. Yet, critics whisper of his softballs thrown to political allies and his occasional forays into gotcha journalism, especially when ratings demand drama. In the lead-up to Brad's appearance, whispers in media circles suggested ABC producers, eyeing sagging summer numbers, had greenlit George to loosen the reins, a euphemism for digging deeper than the usual surface scratches. Brad's team, aware of the volatility, had prepped him with bullet points on deflection, but nothing could armor against the personal dagger George wielded so deftly. As the interview resumes post-commercial, the studio lights seem brighter, the air conditioners hum more insistent, and Brad's opening salvo lands like a measured punch. George, legacy isn't defined by headline exits in the quiet moments with my kids, the work I pour into stories that matter. This film isn't therapy on screen, it's art born from life, but not enslaved to it. Applause ripples from the live audience, a small victory, but George, undeterred, presses on, his voice rising in pitch, a subtle tell of engagement. Art from life, sure, but fans can't help but read between the lines. Angelina's spoken openly about the pain of your split. Did you regret how public it's all become, or is this the price of fame you signed up for? The question hangs, laced with implication, implying Brad's choices fueled the fire. Robin shifts uncomfortably, interjecting with a soft "that's a tough one," while Michael attempts levity. "Hey, I've got 6 kids too, trust me, privacy's a myth." But the laugh doesn't land. Brad's eyes flash with something primal, the cool facade slipping to reveal the fighter beneath. "Regret, George? Regret's a luxury for people who haven't built empires from scratch. I've owned my mistakes, gone to therapy, fought for my family in ways that tabloids never print. But let's flip it. What about the media's role in turning pain into profit? You sat across from presidents, you know how one question can rewrite a narrative." The studio